Well, for a guy that's been through every aspect of the game at this point, and I'm assuming you get more time at the beginning of their career than you do at the end, but from a player / coach / everything that you've done perspective, is it more important to give these guys the coaching that they need financially when they're coming into the league or when they're exiting out?
Oh, I mean, I think there's a little bit of both. You got to kind of be, almost like a parent to them a little bit. And try and help them out. But, from the financial side, I didn't really try and get involved too much, but I just wanted guys to be smart, be smart early on. And then, as you move along, a lot of the guys end up with girlfriends, wives, families. And then you got to start thinking about your family. And that's kind of the way those talks that I have with guys. If you saw guys spending stupidly, then I would just pull them off the side and go, let's just be smart about it. Could end tomorrow.
Anything come to mind? Like no names, obviously, but like dumb stuff that they would buy.
I'm sure there's lots of those.
Where do you start?
I don't think it was. It wasn't a goalie, but it was one of our players, and I just kind of pulled them off the side. It was like they got into watches and bags, and I said, you know what? It could end tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Like you really need to just think about what you're doing. It's great that you're in the NHL right now and stuff, but not to be negative, but you're one injury away from being out of the league. So just think about your future. That's kind of the way I approached it.
Financially, how it's changed from in the 80s. That signing bonus. I mean, now guys that are going in the top 10 are getting a check for $850,000 at 18 years old. I mean, that's a huge responsibility. And if there's nobody like you or at least a worthy parent to kind of go, okay, here's how we're going to do this, that spells trouble. Yeah.
And I think that's where you really hope it wasn't only me, it was our leadership group. I think, the Copies and the Brownies of the world, you hope that they'll step in a little bit. Because, some guys come in and they want to buy, they see the top dogs with a, $150,000 vehicle and they want to do the same thing. Like, no. Why would you do that? Pay your dues, and when you get to be a big dog, that's when you spend the big dog money.
Do you remember what your big first dumb purchase was?
How much was it for? First off, before you tell us, I'm curious.
No, I don't.
It was a while ago, right?
I don't think I ever. That's when I think just my upbringing with.
That's what Brandon Manitoba will do for everybody.
Military. My dad didn't make my first contract. When I got to Boston, my first pro season. My dad had to co-sign for a credit card for me. I had no credit rating, and I was making twice as much money as my dad, who had been working for 30 years already.
Wow!
So that's the reality for me. When I broke into the league, I thought, okay, if I could make $50,000 for 10 years, because my dad averaged probably anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 during his military career. I was like, if I can make $50,000 for 10 years, that's and be smart about it, then I can provide for my family. So that's the way I approached it. And I always tried to make my purchases within my means. My first condo was a little tiny condo in Edmonton, and then I upgraded to a little nicer condo. Then my first house was a little house, and that's what we always did. The only purchase that really got me in trouble was when I was buying a home in Boston after I signed my extension and then got traded a month later. And I was fortunate enough that I only lost because it was through a friend of a friend that I was able to only lose a little bit of the down payment. But I would say that was the craziest thing I did.
For all of our viewers and listeners in Edmonton, where was your where was home base for you? What was your hood?
My hood,
Millwoods, Sherwood Park.
I started off on the south side. What was it called? Heritage Village or whatever. The mall's not even there anymore.
Yeah, that's central now.
Yeah, and then I think it was Carrington Homes, if I remember correctly, in Millwoods, and then the first home was Riverbend area, one of the right off the what's the highway there? going into Riverbend, whatever it's called now.
That wasn't Y Road. That was out towards Sherwood Park. You're jogging my memory now. It's been a while since I've been out that way too.
Whatever the main highway kind of thing were, and then you
the White Mud.
Yeah. White Mud Freeway. Yeah, just off the White Mud in Riverbend when they started building on the south side is that was the first home. Yeah.
What was one of your favorite things about Edmonton?
The fans, people, they die hard. It was crazy.
What about living there?
It was a good city. Like it gets a really bad reputation. It was a great city to live in.
River Valley is beautiful too, huh?
Yeah, the River Valley. Well, it's my time wasn't so much. Now it's beautiful. Like down by the ballpark and stuff. They fixed all that area up, and obviously there was the River Valley area where Gretz and Mess and Kevin and all those guys lived at the time, but. Then they really fixed up the area down by the ballpark and all that. And a lot of guys started moving in there, and then obviously now all the condos downtown Edmonton. Everybody's it's the young guys move into the condos and the older guys move south.
Of course,
yeah.
Well, out of curiosity, seeing Edmonton grow, like when you go back there and you're doing business there with the Kings. We've talked about it on the podcast in previous episodes, but the fact that Northlands is probably going to get torn down here in the next year or so.
I hope not. But we used to be able to go from one end of the city to the other in like 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. You can't go 3 lights now in 15 minutes in Edmonton. How much it's changed.
Totally.
Yeah. I hope that. I mean, just Northlands. It's such an iconic building, and not only for the hockey but for the concert series. It's one of the greatest buildings to listen to music in, and still to this day the big bands that are getting ready to go on arena tours rent the space before they go out just to get ready because it's just iconic.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to see them do with it? Because I could be wrong, but I think that the Oilers gave it to the city on the condition no sports events, no concerts, do anything else you want, and it's just been sitting. So what would you like to see them do with it?
I just hope it just doesn't get knocked down. It's out of my realm. I haven't been there for a lot of years. I don't know what ideas they have for it, but it would be sad to see, but it's also a big piece of property, and Totally. It all comes down to money. And yeah,
you said mall and water park, right?
Well, they already got one of those in West End.
Yeah, the second one.
I actually said what I'd like to see them do is do the same thing that Toronto did with the old Maple Leaf Gardens. Ryerson University took it over and turned it into a half mall, half education, half this, half that. I think it's a great spot in Edmonton to do that.
How about pickleball courts?
There you go. I love it. Condos all the way around retirement center.
There we go.
Yeah,
keep
them contained.
Yeah, there we go.
The state of the game right now, the goaltending that you're seeing, the way you're seeing the game move. We've talked about the rumors about Gary Bettman maybe calling it quits at the end of this year. In your estimation, where is the game right now?
I think it's pretty healthy right now. Obviously there's. I'd hate to see it happen, but there's talk about the problems they're having here and in Winnipeg. But it's just such an iconic city, and there's the history here, and I hope they can find a way to figure it out. But I think they've really done a pretty good job in solidifying all the organizations, and there's the odd blip here and there, but I think the state of the game's pretty good after what we went through with the bubble and COVID and all that. But the game's been good to me. Like I've got no complaints.
Mike Keane said the same thing. Do you guys know each other?
I know. I just know Mike from playing against him, just a superhuman being and stuff. But the way I look at it, the game's been really good to me. I've got no complaints.
Good for you.
Do you have any memories of the old Winnipeg Arena and playing the Jets?
Oh my God, my first junior game, the Queen up at the end was with the New Westminster Bruins.
What happened to that painting?
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere, I think, yeah. But my first junior game, it was whoever shot last, and thank God it was us. I think it was a 9-8 win. But my first pro hockey game, I was living in Portage la Prairie, and Chico Resch was a relative through marriage. My mom's sister was married to a Resch, and so my first ever NHL game was making the drive I was supposed to see him with the New York Islanders. He got traded like 3 days before, and we didn't have any money. So it was a big deal. And to be able to come up to the game, and then made a phone call, and they swapped the tickets out for the Colorado was in like a couple of weeks later. So I got to meet him for the first time, and So my first NHL game and my first junior game were in this building.
Pretty cool.
We do a hockey podcast called Sling the Biscuit every single Sunday. The clips, the bite-sized chunks are right here. Only the hits, the full-length show, which you don't want to miss, is right here. That's Dave. I'm Travis. We'll see you soon.